So I'm officially on the Monadnock-Sunapee Greenway trail. This morning, Kyle graciously helped me spot my car at Mount Monadnock, which is the southern end of the trail, and drove me up to Mount Sunapee. And he hiked up to the summit of Sunapee, which is where the trail starts, and then also the first mile or so of the trail. So he just left, and I am going to continue on. The Monadnock-Sunapee Greenway is about a 50-mile trail, point to point, and the two ends of the trail are at the summits of Sunapee and Monadnock, respectively. So today I think we're probably going to do about 10-ish miles. We'll see how we feel. So we got a little view point here, and if you can see that big mountain way in the distance right there, that is Mount Monadnock. That is where I am ending this hike in about 2-ish days. So it is incredibly hot today. I've done about 6.5 miles today, including the 2.5 or 2.25 to the summit of Mount Sunapee, where the trail actually starts. So I've only done about 4.2 on the actual trail. And I've already gone through almost 2 liters of water. So I just checked the map, and there is a water source coming up in about a mile. Probably gonna stop there. I think there's a shelter there too. I'm gonna stop there for a little bit longer of a break, filter some water, and have a snack before I go another, I think it's another 5 or 6 miles to the shelter I'm staying at tonight. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm trying to stay cool. Hi, little guy. So I made it to the Steve Galpin shelter, which is like 5.5 miles into the trail. And it is hot. It's 3 p.m. Considering making dinner here and then kind of feeling it out, seeing if I feel like hiking another 5-ish miles. I'm
to the next shelter, which would set me up really well for the next day. Or if I just want to stay here, that would tack on another like half day. So I'd be finishing like late morning on Thursday. So I think I'm gonna cook my dinner now so that I have some fuel in me to see, to see what I want to do. Not the best water source, but I got some water. We'll see how it goes. So this is chicken and dumplings. Probably not the best meal for a 80-degree day, but I definitely need the calories. So I ate like half of that backpacking meal and drank about a liter of water sitting at that shelter. And I decided to push on 5 more miles to the next shelter. And it's like 4:30 in the afternoon, so I kind of gotta move. But it just sets me up better for the rest of the trip. So 5 more miles. Made it to Max's real shelter. It is 7 o'clock on the dot. I am probably gonna go set my tent up over there, hang my food, and then go to bed. Well, I'm all set up at camp. My food is hung, my tent is set up, and I'm just kind of relaxing for a little bit. And then I'm gonna go to sleep very soon. I'm exhausted. It's so hot in here too. Hopefully it cools off a little bit. Good night. Good morning. It is 6 a.m. Did not sleep very well at all. I'm kind of pitched on a little bit of a decline. So I was tent surfing all night on my sleeping pad. Not the best, but yeah, I'm gonna go get my food and make some coffee and see if I can bring myself back to life here a little bit, eat some food, and kind of make a plan for today. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do today, so we'll see. All right, so I made myself some coffee. I'm eating breakfast, a smoothie, and I looked at the weather. It looks like it turned a little bit for the worse. It was only supposed to rain for a couple hours this afternoon, but now it's looking like thunderstorms from 9 a.m. to 5 or 7 p.m. That said, I also still have about 40 miles of trail left, and I was planning on doing this in 3 days, and I just don't know that I can do 2 20-mile days with the heat that I had yesterday. I went through a lot more food than I anticipated, so there is a little store I might be able to resupply at, but my idea is maybe when I get to that store, it's about 5.5 miles away from where I am. They have a little cafe, so I can sit down and have like a real meal, and then maybe just either call an Uber back to my vehicle and try again another day, or reassess how I'm feeling. But by then, I think the rain and thunderstorms should probably have started. Yeah, just the heat just really got to me yesterday. It was like 88 degrees and humid. So, after hiking for until 7 p.m. last night and setting up camp right away. I ate a little bit, but it didn't really replenish anything. It just took everything out of me, and then I didn't sleep well at all. So, you know, I'd rather call it on a bad weather day than try to push through and suffer through and run out of food or have some kind of heat-related illness take me out later on when there isn't a road crossing that I can easily get to. So yeah, that's kind of my plan for today, is to hike the 5.5 miles to Washington General Store and reassess when I'm there, and if I decide to call it quits, I will call an Uber to take me back to my vehicle and just try again another time. So I just left camp at about 7:45 this morning. It is much cooler today, although it's still very humid and the bugs are still terrible. I forgot to mention, straight out of camp, climbing up and over Lovewell Mountain, and then it's all downhill into Washington, so just got to get up and over this mountain. So it started raining pretty good, like right as I started climbing Lovewell, which is okay. Just got to be careful. I have about half mile left to the summit, and then a big downhill into town. Still got like a little over 4 miles to go for the day, but getting it done. The rain actually feels really good. Made it to the summit of Lovewell Mountain, and I am in a cloud. But that's great because that means I think we only have 3.5 miles left into town, mostly downhill, so yeah. So I took a little spur trail over to the viewpoint on Lovewell Mountain, and I'm in a cloud. So, oh well. I've got 4 miles, 4.1 left to the town of Washington, where I am going to probably end my hike at the general store. It's just the heat really got to me yesterday, and I am not feeling my best. However, the rain does feel really good today. It's not too cold, but there is a slight breeze, so it feels really good. Hi, it's future editing Hannah. I realized that I did not wrap up filming this video, so I am here to do just that. Can you stop panting, please? Chill. So first and foremost, I did make it to the Washington General Store. I had a full breakfast and was starting to feel a little bit better. However, as soon as I got down there, the sun came out and it was 94 degrees for the rest of the day. So between that and the following day being another 90-degree day with super high humidity, I know I made the right decision to end my hike. Washington is a really small town in New Hampshire, so the possibility of me getting an Uber was exactly zero. And I should have known that. But fortunately, I was able to connect with a local ultra runner named Erica, who gave me a ride back from Washington all the way down to my vehicle at Monadnock. I don't know if she'll ever see this video, but if she does, thank you so much, Erica. That was so amazing. And I had a really great time chatting about hiking and ultra running and stuff with her. Erica also currently holds the fastest known time on the Greenway Trail that I bailed on. So we talked a lot about that. I learned a lot about the trail and some really good info on fueling, which was my main issue. So what happened? I set a very lofty goal for myself to hike that trail in 3 days, and maybe if the weather was better and if I wasn't carrying like a 26-pound pack, it might have been possible to do that kind of mileage, but I wasn't used to hiking with weight in the heat, and I am notorious for under-fueling. Doing a day hike is a lot different than backpacking because at the end of a day hike, you can just go out to dinner or go to a local, bar or something and order a huge meal and kind of replenish yourself. Backpacking, you're carrying everything that you have and you have to cook it or prepare it. And if you're not able to get those calories in, you're gonna suffer, and that's exactly what happened. I waited too long to eat, and I didn't bring things that were easy to digest or easy to eat. The backpacking meal did kind of bring me back to life a little bit, but I wasn't even able to get all of that down. So I learned some lessons, and going forward in the couple weeks since I got off trail, I have been training with a weight vest in the heat. It's been super humid the last couple weeks. And I've also been training eating while moving and hydrating better and all of these things that ultimately ended my hike. That's pretty much all I've been working on for the last 2 weeks. So hopefully going forward, I'll be able to do better on hikes, but it's still a learning process. I'm still very, very new to backpacking, relatively experienced hiker, but still a beginner backpacker, and I am learning the whole time. I'm really glad I did learn these lessons now because they will definitely come in handy later on for my bigger project this summer, which I will put in a video coming up soon. So real quick, I just wanted to give a quick thank you first to Kyle for helping me drop my car off at Mount Monadnock and then driving me to Mount Sunapee and hiking the first couple miles with me. Second to Erica for the ride back when my body was failing me and I just needed to get home and replenish myself. And third, also to my mom and stepdad for taking care of Frank for the 2 days that I was on trail. Thank you.